Hello and welcome back, and today I want to give you my first impressions on one of my favorite cameras that I've bought so far, and it's surprisingly a DSLR. So let's get into it. So the situation was I was going on my trip to Maine and I didn't have a camera that I truly enjoyed. I had the Fuji X-E4, which was clinical, clean, but it served its point last year. I loved it last year, but whatever magic that it had left for me. I also have a Sony A7 IV, which is so clinical. I use it for situations where I need things to be perfect, but it doesn't excite me at all when I'm walking around attempting to use it. And when looking for a travel camera, I feel like Micro Three Thirds is said to be the most perfect thing ever, but I feel as though sometimes when the weight gets too light, I don't feel like a photographer anymore. And then in my personal opinion, I still would like to have full frame. I wanted it to be cheap. So those three things were rather definable and cut a lot of the other cameras out that I had in mind at the moment. I remembered that I had a camera when I was shooting for my brand, and it was an old Canon, and it was a ASPC sensor, but I just liked the colors, I liked the idea of it, and the weight. Everything felt perfect. I even ended up choosing those photos over the film photos that I took when it came to that photo shoot. But I wanted to find something that was a little bit more advanced or closer to the current time period when it comes to the expectations. I saw that Pentax was an option, but I saw also that their autofocus was kind of funky and weird, and they had their own system when it comes to certain things. And I mainly know them for film, so I personally stayed away from that. But I did remember, of course, the history of Nikon and the importance that they had when it comes to the DSLR. So I chose to go with them specifically. As I fell down that rabbit hole, you get to learn about the CDC sensor and all these other facts and things like that that makes the camera so special from a character point of view when it comes to the pictures. And I personally chose, based off of the money as well, the D700. And when I got this camera, it felt bulky, it felt old, it felt so different than mirrorless. I came to quickly love it. Even the extremely loud clap when it comes to the shutter was just different to me. So I took this huge camera with me to Maine. I never had a grip for a camera either, making it that much more bulky, but it made it that much more special to me as well and interesting, which made me want to shoot even more. Some of my favorite photos from the trip were visiting the kayaking or right by the water. Two very nice people that were a part of the kayaking experience, I guess, allowed me to walk on their land or territory, whatever you want to call it, and snap some photos of them working, snap some photos of the bright colors against such a blue and green area, and it was beautiful from that standpoint. My second favorite after the kayaking would definitely be the lighthouse itself. When it comes to that character that the camera shows, my first impressions were honestly stunned by how easy it was to take a photo, not be so worried, enjoy shooting, but definitely the lighthouse. And then third, honestly, it's got to be the Big Lobster. Driving by, we were going to the botanical gardens. I hated it, by the way. I hated it. I love botanical gardens, but I hated Maine's botanical garden. Sorry. But we saw the Big Lobster, so I turned around on the way back and I hopped out the car and took pictures of that as well. And I really enjoyed what I got from this. It was perfect for the trip when it came to traveling. It was a little bulky, but overall you kind of know that when you pick it up, so it didn't feel like over time it got worse. It just was heavy the whole time, so it's kind of like you're just used to it overall. Soon after we got back, I saw that there was an event for the Ben's Jamboree. Basically a whole bunch of people bringing their Benzes together so that they can be appreciated, and they even voted on who should win the best Benz. But I just wanted to see the older cars and see the people that own them. But of course I had my camera with me on this rainy day, a little gloomy, but it worked. I captured a few more pictures, close-ups far away. I had a few pictures of people with their cars, but I was a little bit timid or scared, so I didn't truly hop in and let me get a picture of you standing next to it, let me get a picture of you sitting in it, which I think is just a next phase of comfortability that I'll have to obtain when it comes to photography. But I really like some of the shots that I got. Most of the pictures that stood out to me that I decided to show were of that brown Benz, and I think that the details shown, I think that the megapixels of only being 12 were fine enough that the details that I needed to be shown were pushed through, and the colors that I was seeing were also being pushed through, and it gave a great moody view of basically what I was seeing and what I enjoyed, and I loved it for that. And the last place that I'll be showing today that I took pictures of is New York and Jersey. Just walking around and taking in the city. Once again, the camera lends itself pretty easily. Like I said, its weight is a factor, but I truly enjoy walking around with it, interacting with people. People, since the camera is so obvious, don't feel too uncomfortable because you can see me from a mile away, and if you're close enough you can hear me too, so it's not that much of a problem for them and it's no discomfort. But overall I really enjoy this camera. I think that for buying it at the price that I did, being, let me check, the body was $350. I shoot in 50mm kind of across the board. I try, you know, even if it's just something that's equivalent, it's in the area. And that was $105 for the autofocus S 50mm 1.8G is what you're seeing for the majority, if not all, of those photos. An extra point is that if you wear glasses, this will also be a great camera for you because it has the high point system that Nikon is known for, which allows it to be a little bit easier. I mean, I haven't found that much of a problem shooting with other cameras, but this one is especially good overall. My overall rating I would give this camera is a 9 out of 10. Originally, when I was looking around, I was looking at the Nikon ZF, or I was looking at the Fuji X-T5. Obviously, like I said, I wanted to keep it cheaper because I didn't want to put so much money out while also doing a trip. So that nixed them. But I think that I made the right decision, but the one that would make it a 10 out of 10 would have been the Nikon D850, because I would have gotten the full frame of the ZF. I would have gotten the 45 megapixels of the X-T5, and then I also would have still gotten the DSLR factor of the 700. So it would have combined all three of them to make a 10 out of 10, but it wouldn't have a flash. That is one thing. But then again, I'm not walking around with this camera for like, hey, snapshot, fun pictures. Even though I did do that for headshots for work, so kind of. But anyways, this camera, the Nikon D700, is a really good buy. I think if you buy it at the right price, I think if you go on eBay, which you do not have to be scared of, just make sure they have enough reviews, just make sure that they have enough purchases, and you should be good. A lot of times when it gets beefier, it gets bumped up, that means that it's a store, which I've had no problems with overall, except for my lady's camera. Her camera is actually broken, but I put insurance on it, and it was like a Canon. It was a small point and shoot thing. So the big boy stuff has been fine. Like, Mamma Mia! And my Contax RTS. All very good purchase. I'm very happy. I've been good. But thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. I definitely expect to put more photography videos out, so I hope you guys are liking this. Remember to like and subscribe if I didn't just say that. Be safe, y'all. I'm out. Peace.